disappointing you. I blame you for not thinking. I don't blame Zanupf for disappointing you. I blame you for not thinking. Don't blame Zanupf for disappointing you. Blame yourself for not voting. Don't blame Zanupf for disappointing you. Blame yourself for not voting. Hey everybody, tell somebody, voter apathy is facilitating rigging. Enda uregister, waregister na poto kuvota. Enda uregister, waregister na poto kuvota. Give me mune power ya chori muku vota.
People power.
Magwejende mu register, mayutende mu register, maninjende mu register, mashakende mu register, aberenda mu register.
Abero enda uno register, hands abero enda uno register. Vamateu enda uno register.
I register kare.
And the good thing, yes, and the good thing, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Senior citizens like us, we are already registered, and what we can only do is to go and check whether our names are still there, whether Zanupf has not tampered with them yet. But anyway, Zimbabweans, thank you so much for joining your favorite news channel. If you want to hear about the current news in Zimbabwe, current news all over the world, you tune into ZimI, Facebook, ZimI, YouTube, and also you tune into Change Radio. So thank you so much for joining us. Those who are just joining us, we are live here on this program, your program, Padare na Mambo So She. And today, Padare, we have a senior citizen, Mr. Mateo is a resident in the United Kingdom, but very visible in Zimbabwe. He's always in Zimbabwe. You think that he lives in Zimbabwe. So we have him here to discuss current issues in the United Kingdom and in Zimbabwe. Mateo will take a few minutes to greet our viewers and listeners across the world.
Good evening, viewers and listeners. Thank you very much for coming to join us. I think this is something that is very welcome in our society. And I want to also thank those behind the scenes and Chief Social for inviting me for an interview. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Mateo. You're seeing what I'm doing right now. I'm sharing this video with people in the groups that I am in. I urge you to do the same thing. Just press the share button so that as many people as possible can join us as we discuss the issues that are going on in Zimbabwe, around Zimbabwe, and in our adopted countries like the United Kingdom. So let's share this video. I'm sharing right now. Why shouldn't you do the same thing? And I'm looking outside here in the United States. It's 12 minutes past 2. It's a very good weekend. Mateo, it's indeed a very good weekend for you guys in the United Kingdom. I know England is playing Italy tomorrow. And I think all roads will be empty, deserted in the UK, while these people are watching UK and Italy. And of course, today we also have Brazil and Argentina fighting it out in the Copa America Cup. You know, it's a good sporting weekend. I know those who are listening from Australia will be saying, Chief, why are you not talking about what is happening in Australia? One of the Australians is qualified for the finals of the US Open, right?
Wimbledon Championship. Yeah.
Yes, Wimbledon Championship, yes. So down under, they're watching, or they've been watching. I don't know what has happened, but they were so excited about one of their own who has qualified for the championships or for the final. But anyway, let's get right into it. Let's discuss what's going on in the United Kingdom, Mr. Mateo. And that's very sad. And we are hearing that Zanupf is behind those deportations. Can you give us an oversight of what's going on?
Thank you, Chief Sophie. It's very unfortunate that we have got the current situation in the United Kingdom. Apparently, I think it's because we have also been, because of COVID, we have been very quiet as well. And so I think Zanupf behind the lines have been working with the government, and they have come up with this idea of actually deporting our members. And as you would normally know, obviously, mostly of those that are deported are those that belong to the MDC alliance, because it is the only credible opposition party in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, it's very sad, and we hear there are as many as over 100 people, 150 people that are being lined up for deportation. What I've read is that the UK is going to deport some people to a central place or to one place in Africa. You know, and you wonder, what is that place? Do you know what that place is? And do you know the logic? Do you understand the logic behind that? Why are they not just deporting people to their respective countries? And why are they deporting people that they know, like Zimbabweans? They know that things are not okay in Zimbabwe. You know, human rights are at their lowest in Zimbabwe. People are being killed. People are being abducted. And some people are actively involved in politics or were actively involved in politics, and they're actually running away from the Zanupf government, and you want to deport people like that. What's the logic behind that?
Yeah, we actually had a meeting today in response to those deportations. We invited 3 solicitors who were actually briefing us on what is actually happening. And we are going to engage those solicitors to help us to come up with a very strong response in order to defend our own people.
Wow, that's...
And apparently one of the solicitors actually told us that he is actually representing 5 of those that are being deported, that have already been detained for deportation.
Wow.
So it's real.
So you have managed to get some lawyers or solicitors for our fellow Zimbabweans so that they can get defended, and what are their chances of not being deported?
That's very true. That's exactly what we started working on. And we are going to make sure that we use every resource at our disposal to make sure that those deportations are stopped.
Yeah, and I was reading a post here from one of our colleagues here, our fellow freedom fighter, Shepherd Yuda. He posted on his page saying, fellow Zimbabweans, I greet you all in the name, with disturbing information that one of our MDC Alliance member in the United Kingdom, that is a leader, Tirarame Janatari Muranganwa, Chiwota, and has been detained at Brookhouse Perimeter Immigration Detention Center, South Gatwick Airport, West Sussex. This man is now on the verge of being deported. Have you heard about him? Are you doing something about him?
Actually, yesterday we were working on his case, and this is what prompted today's meeting. And we are actually going to pursue to make sure that he doesn't go anywhere. He's not the only one, like I said. One of the solicitors actually confirmed 5 of our MDC activists have been detained and pending that deportation.
Wow. Yeah. This is very sad. Would you wanna shed light here? Why do you think ZANU-PF is doing this?
I'll tell you, it's very simple, Chief. You know very well they've closed our space in the country in Zimbabwe. And this is their idea of trying to stop even the diaspora from actually participating in politics or even actually opposing the government in Zimbabwe. And so for them, if they do this, then they will still fear into our people so that there is no activism in the diaspora.
Oh, okay. So we might see ZANU-PF trying to do this in the US, in Australia, in Germany, in other countries as well, if that is the motive.
That is very possible. That is very possible.
Well, ngavauye kuno kutenge takavamirira kana vachitanga kudhipota vachatotanga kudhipota vanhu vezanu-pf vacho, because I don't understand why the UK government is cooperating with a despotic government like Mnangagwa's government. You know, they know what has happened in Zimbabwe. The United Kingdom, together with other countries, have come out criticizing human rights abuses in Zimbabwe. And yet you see them conniving with ZANU-PF thugs, because the understanding is some people from Zimbabwe actually came to the United Kingdom and started selling out this idea of deporting Zimbabweans in the United Kingdom. You wonder why the United Kingdom is doing that. That's not right.
No, you see, the fact is ZANU-PF already has structures in this country. So in other words, the conservative government we have at the moment has actually accepted ZANU-PF as a party to operate in the United Kingdom. And therefore it is quite open that they are having meetings and they've decided to actually fight the MDC alliance from here.
But why are you guys not doing the same thing? Why are you not doing the same thing? I mean, why?
Chief, can I come in with a theory here?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yes.
Yes, I heard that recently the white farmers were compensated. They were given some form of compensation for the farms that were taken. So my theory is that they struck a deal. The UK government struck a deal with the ZANU-PF government that if you compensate our farmers, we can do something for you in return. And maybe this is their end of the deal, that they deport MDC members in return for the compensation of the white farmers. It's a political move on either side. They are looking out for their own people. The UK government is looking out for their own people, and the ZANU-PF gets what they want from the UK government. Because if you look at it, they've been getting even funding, even COVID funding, they still get, even though they couldn't account for the original funding that they got. So
Yeah.
it looks like they are having talks behind doors, talks that we are not aware of.
Yeah, that's very sad. Mr. Mateo, I can see you want to jump in.
Yeah, it's not surprising, really, because like I said before, that ZANU-PF already has structures in this country, and this is how they are maneuvering, discussing with the ZANU-PF that is here and with the Conservative Party here, and then which is in government, and therefore this is why they've come up with this idea, because obviously the UK government wanted something, and ZANU-PF wants something, and so this is why they've come together. And are working closely together now.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that we have a government that recognizes human rights in its own country, that treats its people very well, that is doing good by its people in terms of providing support for COVID-19, in terms of providing vaccinations for its own people. And it's supporting a country that is doing the contrary, that is doing the very opposite, a country that is misusing COVID-19 funds. People are dying in Zimbabwe. Yesterday, I heard that 3 people just dropped dead in Masvingo. And I can tell you those people are not accounted for. They are not in the daily tally that Change Radio publicizes every day. If you listen to Change Radio, you hear the statistics. Every day we are reporting that over 30 people are dying in Zimbabwe because of COVID-19. And I can tell you that number is an understatement of the number of people that are dying in Zimbabwe. The news we get on the ground, if you talk to the people who work at Nyaradzo, who work in funeral homes, who work in Parerenyatwa Masvingo General Hospital, they will tell you that more people are dying than what is being reported. Zanupf is just reporting enough people so that it continues to get funds from the United Nations and developed countries. If they don't want to also report more, because obviously the people will start blaming them, the Zimbabweans will blame them. Right now, they are reporting like they are managing the situation. But I can tell you, Zimbabweans, vanhu vapera kumusha. 35 ndo vari kureportwa on a daily basis. But I can tell you, multiply that number by 3. I know people will always say, you guys here at ZimI, you want to, exaggerate, the situation and say numbers that are not there. But this is the truth. Vanhu vapera kuZimbabwe, vanhu vari kufa kuZimbabwe. Even the number of people that have contracted COVID-19 is grossly understated. So I wonder why the UK government would want to associate with a government like that, a terrorist government, if we may say. But anyway, that is what is happening in the United Kingdom. Zimbabweans in the UK, please, let's continue to support our own. Let's support those people by any means possible. The people that are in those deportation centers, I'm told by Shepherd Yuda that they are not allowed, the cell phones that they use at home that have cameras. They want those small cameras, small phones, so that they can continue to communicate. So if you can provide that, you can provide the data, you can provide the legal support that is needed, and of course the prayers, so that we don't get any Zimbabwean deported back to the concentration camp that is Zimbabwe. You want to add something there before we move on, Mr. Mateo?
Yes. Today's meeting, we resolved that we are now going to call on all Zimbabweans in the United Kingdom to come together, because we are looking forward to going to see the Secretary of Home Affairs. Not only that, we also intend to hold demonstrations. And then now we are asking whoever you are, as long as you are Zimbabwean, you are not safe. Whether you've got a British citizenship, you are not safe, because these people have got a criteria which they are working on, which does not make anybody safe at all. So let us come together as Zimbabweans, not only as MDC Alliance, but as Zimbabweans, so that we fight these deportations and fight this evil.
Yes, and I was going to ask you about that. Why are you guys in the UK quiet? Why are you not doing something about it? If the Zanupf activists in UK are engaging the government, why are you also not engaging the government? But you just answered me there. And the issue of demonstrations, we'll talk about it when we are talking about Eswatini, because we want people now to go out. We can't remain quiet. Zanupf is running rounds around us. Someone here, Audrey, is saying people like Nick Mangwana are doing what they want in Zimbabwe, yet he has a citizenship in the UK. Something needs to be done. Mr. Mateo, there was a time that we circulated, or UK circulated, a petition for Nick Mangwana to be stripped of his citizenship in the United Kingdom. I signed that petition. I promoted that petition, but I don't even know what became of it. Do you know?
That's very true. Nothing really happened. Do you know why nothing happened? It is because the Conservatives have now engaged Zanupf here in the UK. So there is no way they are going to do anything about Nick Mangwana, because those that are actually here are the people they are working with from Zanupf.
Yeah, that's very sad. That's
That's
sad.
how sad it is.
Anyway, moving on, folks, we have a lot to discuss with Mr. Mateo. I told you that this man is, he stays in the United Kingdom, but is very much involved in what happens in Zimbabwe. He was actually a candidate in 2018 in Buera. Can you tell us about that? What were your experiences running for the MDC Alliance in the rural areas where rigging is prominent, where we know that there is a lot of rigging that goes on in there? Did you see anything? Please, we give you time to just tell us the process of voting there. What happens? Because some people don't even know. Did you have enough people around yourself? What happened thereafter? How did you lose? Or did you lose, or you just rigged?
Right. Okay. Let me say that I started. I was a candidate in 2013 for Buera West constituency, and also for 2018. It is tough in the rural areas, but I'm glad to report that in Buera West we have got a very big majority, such that if everybody votes, they will not be able to rig again that constituency. The problem that we face is from the CIO, from the police, and actually the problem that we have is still all civil servants are actually intimidated. The teachers are intimidated. Those that work in councils are intimidated by ZANU-PF. Those that work at the district councils are intimidated by ZANU-PF. And so in the end, you find you go to a polling station, which is manned by teachers or headmasters or whoever who are civil servants. But those civil servants have got their hands tied. Some of them actually tell you that there is nothing they can do. Imagine a teacher who is a secondary school teacher is told not to say that he cannot write. They vote for that teacher. So this is how bad it is. We have got the headmen, but in Buera West, we have now stopped that, where headmen actually lead the people to the polling station. Because now in every village, we also have our committees that are there. And those committees will stop the headmen from actually operating that way. But the system is quite big. And also, for example, let's go on the polling day itself.
Right.
On a polling day itself, when we are counting, the votes are being counted in the polling station. They will ask only one person from each political party to remain in the counting. And what then happens there is, if you have got a weak polling agent, they will be bribed. I got to report in 2018, I think about 9 polling stations where our agents were actually bribed. But maybe it was also our fault, because at that time we were not able to pay the polling agents. So it is very important that we make sure that these polling agents are paid. And so they were actively given money. And they know the ballot papers, those people that say I'm not going to vote because it's rigged, are the ones who are actually rigging us. Because your ballot paper will then be voted and given to the PF candidates, whether it's presidential, parliamentary, or council. So when they've done that, on top of it, if you are unfortunate to have a polling agent who is going to be persuaded to rig, they will then pick your ballot papers. Then they are put under the Zanupf, in between the Zanupf candidate. So that when counting, people are just counting. They are no longer checking, isn't it, as to whether this ballot paper belongs to this candidate. So they just so it will be just a big pile now, and they start counting, and that's how they are actually rigging us.
Wow.
But we can stop this rigging if we actually stand up and fight it, because if we have our youth at polling stations voting and then waiting there to support the candidate, our polling agent who is inside. That way, it will be much better for us, because at the end of the day, if we all just vote and go home, then Zambia will do what they want. And also, there is this problem whereby ballot papers will be transferred from the polling station to the ward center, and then from the ward center to the district center. That process, if we don't have our own vehicle or our own transport at every polling station, what then happens is, along the way, they will tell you, you don't fit in the vehicle. Find your way to the ward center. You don't fit in the vehicle. Find your way to the district center. So without transport, obviously, you can't go anywhere. So they will then, somewhere midway, that's when they will play around with their boxes, and then we are rigged again that way. So they've got a system that is very quite clear, but we need to respond to that.
Yeah, these are the problems you're highlighting here are simple problems that we can deal with.
Yes.
One, the issue of polling agents that they need to be paid. You know, if you don't pay someone, they are subject to being, corrupted. You know, they can sell out for as little as $20 or $30, or even
Definitely.
a packet of food. You know, so these are things that we can control. So your experience at the polling booth, that's what I wanna know. Myself, my experience is on voting when I get in and vote. And long back in the 2008, when I was a teacher, I used to be, one of the polling agents. But that was a long time ago. When you were there, in 2013 and in 2018, did you yourself have enough polling agents?
Yes, I had enough polling agents. The only problem that we had at the end was they were not paid.
So in your constituents, how many polling agents do you need?
I've got 49 polling stations, and I need at least 4 polling agents at every polling station, which is about 50 times 4.
200.
It is 200, yes.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah. So when
polling agents, Chief, they don't just need to be paid. They need food, because sometimes they go there to the polling station 4 days before polling day. They need airtime. They need data if you need them to get pictures and what have you.
Yeah.
So it's not just about on the polling day. Before then, you need to keep these people so that they are not forced to leave the polling station to go and look for food.
Wow. So at the polling station, do they count the votes right there at the end of the day, or they do it progressively and continually during the voting process, or they wait until the voting is closed and then they start counting? And
counting starts after voting has been concluded.
okay,
It is at that stage that then they then say, okay, MDC Alliance, they've got 4 polling agents. They now only 1 polling agent to remain in the polling station. The other 3 have to go out.
Wow. I'm seeing here our Honorable Vice President, Lynette Karenyi, is watching. Welcome, VP. Thank you so much for being here. And this time, we need to defend our votes. We are going to defend our votes. Yes, definitely, we need to defend our votes, and we all need to stand up and defend our vote. What do you think? How do you think we can defend the vote, Mr. Mateo? When does defending the vote starts? Because we have had there are situations where in other countries, when people vote, they don't go home; they remain there.
Exactly.
Yes, should that be the start of defending the vote?
Exactly. At the polling station, every polling station. This is why it is important that we know we have the structure at every polling station. The good thing is, from now on, our branches are polling station based.
Mm-hmm.
So we know exactly who are our members in the structures. So we should arrange in such a way that when Jason Mateo goes inside, votes. After voting, I have to come out and I have to go to congregate with my other colleagues.
Mm.
We wait there until the votes are put outside the polling station. And then we also have the opportunity of actually getting those figures. And also it is important that whoever, we have somebody who will be waiting to get that and transmit it straight to the ward center, to the district center, and to the national center. That way, it will be very difficult for them. Because realistically, Chief, we should be able to know how many votes will go at the polling station A and the polling station B. We should be able to know. Because we have got people there at the polling station. We have got somebody who has been in the county, and if we have got somebody who's going to take the picture there and transmit it forward, then we should know. It shouldn't even take time for us to know that we have won this ward, we have won that constituent.
Yeah, to those that are just joining us, we are talking to Mr. Jason Mateo. He is in the United Kingdom, but like we said, he is always in Zimbabwe. He has been a candidate for Buera West constituents representing the MDC Alliance in 2013 and in 2018. He's just walking us through his experiences on voting day, what actually happens at the polling station, at the polling booth, and how ZANU-PF ends up rigging. And by the way, to those who don't know, Mr. Jason Mateo is the father to our honorable member of Marondera, Honorable Caston Mateo in Marondera. Do Baba Bakava Caston, Banuzia Caston, he is they are an MDC family. So we are just discussing here issues in the United Kingdom and issues in Zimbabwe. I think we are ready, Mr. Mateo, we are ready to take a short break, take a glass of water, and then we'll move on to the other big issue that we want to discuss. Our viewers and listeners, do not go away. Just sit back and relax. Let's take a short break and we'll be back in a minute. Well,
Mushawenyu wamachemera. Mushawenyu wamachemera.
Thank you very much. We are back, Mr. Mateo. I hope we had a chance to take a glass of water. We are about to get to the end of our program, but we can't finish this program before we talk about Eswatini. We all know what has been happening in Eswatini. It's an identical problem. Eswatini is just like Zimbabwe. They are under a despotic leader. Human rights abuses are the order of the day there. And but the people of Eswatini decided enough was enough, and they said we can't take this anymore. And I'm praying that day will also come in Zimbabwe. If Eswatini did it, why can't we did it? If Malawi did it, why can't we did it? If other countries are doing it, why can't we do it as well? Eswatini people are being beaten up, people are being killed, people are being abused, and we've been talking to some of the victims. It's really bad what is happening in Eswatini. And as the MDC Alliance, we are a party of solidarity. We stand in solidarity with what is going on in Eswatini. You've heard, you've seen the statement from our Secretary for International Relations, Leader Gladys Shwachayo. She issued a very strong statement against the Eswatini government so that they stop doing what they are doing right now. And there were actually rumors at one time that the king himself he had fled and had been given asylum in Zimbabwe. And we know that Zanupf does that. They do that. So that's he might even be in Zimbabwe for all we know. He might even be in Zimbabwe. So, Mr. Mateo, your thoughts are on what is happening in Eswatini?
Chief, it is very disturbing that we've got a leadership in SADC which is not a listening leadership, which does not protect the people. They are actually, the leadership are actually protecting themselves. This is the problem that we have got. Because in other regions, what is happening right now in Eswatini, the other countries would have already got in. But for example, with those ministers getting into Eswatini, and then they are locked in the room, just like you remember when the team from ANC came, they were locked again into Zanupf, and they were not even able to talk to other people. But you have got a problem burning in the country, and you come and see one political party instead of actually coming to see everyone else, in order that you can stop the problem that is happening. But also, I've heard people that are actually saying the people inside Eswatini are actually getting help, a lot of help from the people in the diaspora. I think it is a weakness for us in the diaspora to look at the people inside the country and expect them to work miracles when we are folding our arms. There's need for coordination. There is need for resources to be flowing to the people that are actually on the ground. And only that way will you succeed.
Yeah.
Because right now, if I'm on the ground, for example, I mean, I'll tell you what, at one time I was ambushed by the CIO in Boera, right down there. Imagine in the bush there. But if there is no help coming from elsewhere, surely what can you do?
Yeah.
The army, the police will do whatever they want with you, with the people of Eswatini, and it will just end like that. But if they are getting support from their people in the diaspora, then it will make a very big difference.
Yes, and I'm going to come to you with that, the question of the diasporans, how we can effectively, complement the struggle in Zimbabwe. But still on the issue of in Eswatini, we had a discussion today with the Secretary for International Relations. This is for everyone. It's not strategic information. As a chairperson for external assemblies, Gladys Watayo addressed us, and she talked about the issue of solidarity, that we have to rally behind the people of Eswatini, because they are just like us. What is happening to them is happening in Zimbabwe. What is happening in Eswatini will be happening in Zimbabwe tomorrow, or was happening in Zimbabwe yesterday. So we have to stand with them so that tomorrow they will also stand with us. So as external assemblies, we are going to do programs, do demonstrations. We're talking about demonstrations, Mr. Mateo earlier on. We are going to go out in the streets. We are going to hand over petitions to the Swaziland High Commissions here in the United States, in the United Kingdom, all over the world. We are all going to be involved. And there is going to be an e-rally where we are going to invite people from Swaziland, from Eswatini, to come and talk about what is going on there. We are already in touch with some victims in Eswatini that will come and talk on that program, so that we highlight the Eswatini issues to the world. We show the world that this is what is happening in Africa. This is what is happening in Eswatini. And Southern Africa is quiet. Southern Africa is not doing anything. South Africa is quiet. Zimbabwe is quiet. Zambia is quiet. If they are doing anything, they are actually doing something to prop up the dictator. They are not doing something in support of the Eswatini people. And this is the issue that I've had with Cyril Ramaphosa, AU, SADC, and other African countries, that they choose to stand with a dictator. They elect to stand with a person who is killing people, who is destroying properties, who is destroying people's livelihoods every day, every time. That has been the issue, and that should be the issue with the world. How do we see, how does Cyril Ramaphosa watch while Zimbabwe is burning? How does Cyril Ramaphosa and other Southern African leaders watch while Eswatini is burning, while people are dying? Eswatini's lives matter, and we need to stand in solidarity with that. So if you hear about demonstrations early this week or next week, please join in, do something about it. I know the organizing secretaries and the provincial chairpersons will be talking about that. Here we're already talking about that, and we're making plans to make sure that we hand in that petition to the SCWAS High Commission here in the United States of America, and we expect all the other provinces to follow suit. We stand with the people of Eswatini. You were talking about demonstrations earlier on, Mr. Mateo. This is something that we can combine with what is going on in the United Kingdom, the deportations in the United Kingdom, and of course, the human rights abuses in Eswatini.
Yeah, Chief, let's not forget that when the external assemblies were constituted by the MDC in 2006, our main areas of operation are finance and advocacy. So the moment we are not doing that, we are not carrying out our duties. Our presence is there because we must be doing those two things. So come to demonstration. I think it is time that now, I know there's been COVID and whatever, but it is time that each time I hear that in London, there's been demonstration, even with this COVID. So we as Zimbabweans should not shy away from that. And I can assure you that Zimbabweans in the United Kingdom are now waking up because we had relaxed and thought everything was in order. But I think everyone else now sees that nothing is in order. So we will need to have those demonstrations without faith.
Yes, and we can't keep hiding behind COVID. That there is COVID, there is COVID. So we can let's put on our masks and go there and demonstrate. Here in the United States of America, I was part of the demonstrations for the Zimbabwean Lives Matter. At the peak of the coronavirus, when injustice had been done to the people of America, they went into the streets. They demonstrated, and the whole world caught up. The whole world joined in. The Zimbabwe Black Lives Matter. We remember what happened last year. It was during the peak of the coronavirus. But
Yes.
if people are being ill-treated, if we have countries, regimes like Eswatini, regimes like the ones in Zimbabwe, who are taking advantage of COVID, that because there's COVID, people are not going to demonstrate. That's weaponizing COVID-19. It's taking advantage of a pandemic to punish the people. So it's high time we say, you know what, now we are putting on our masks and we are going out there and we are expressing our emotions, we are demonstrating, we are telling the world that what is going on in Zimbabwe should stop, and what is going on in Eswatini should stop, and of course what is going on in UK right now in terms of the deportations must stop. So put on your mask and join the demonstrations. Mamateo, as we round up, the role of the people in the diaspora, you are in the diaspora, but you are active in Zimbabwe. Shouldn't we be seeing more people like you, more people doing that? If you can just talk about that as we come to the end of our discussion.
Okay, thank you very much, Chief. Let me start from the 2008 elections, when I was the organizing secretary in the UK. We twinned our branches with constituencies in Zimbabwe. And we supplied the resources, especially in the rural areas. Because for the MDC now, our focus should be in the rural areas. That's where we need the resources. So if we do that twinning, then the branch and the constituents work hand in hand. And thereby managing to fight off Zanupf. Then also, as individuals, even if you are not if you are not a member of the MDC, but you are looking forward to a better Zimbabwe, then you can adopt a branch from your rural area. But tell you what, some people may say we grew up in town, but they've got a rural area where my mother came from, or where their father came from, or where they are very well known. You can adopt that branch and assist it in registration that is going on at the moment. You can adopt a constituency and support the party through so many ways of doing it. There are so many ways of doing it. For example, you can actually say, fine, you know, the point the rural areas cannot afford anything in terms of money, but they need to buy their cars. You can actually say, okay, fine, I'm going to buy 30 cars for Buera West constituency. And that there are two advantages here. You are going to motivate the person on the ground when they are holding their card and say, I'm a member, I've got my card. You are also financing the party as well. So you are doing two things at the same time. So I would urge people to actually go into it, because we need to register as many people as possible, and then encourage those people to vote when the elections come. And also, finally, the issue of polling agents. We should be able to train polling agents from the diaspora, facilitate their training, give them transport to go for training. And by the way, The main problem why I'm saying they need support, especially the new voters. Someone needs maybe $5 to go to the registration center, and the $5 to come back. So obviously, if they don't have the money, they are not going to register. And with polling agents, it is very important that we make sure that our polling agents are trained to start with. Once they are trained, then we look after them during the polling days. In terms of, like I was saying, the airtime, food, and obviously they are token of appreciation as well. So the diaspora we can think in the diaspora, we are too far away, we cannot be effective. But we can be very effective if we twin up with the people on the ground.
Yes. There's someone here who just texted me saying that the last time I went to register, Chief, I saw my late sister's name. Munanga akafa muna 2010. The issue of the voter roll. As a candidate, did you ever get a chance to inspect the voter roll and see the people that are in your constituency? Wona kuti uyu munhu akafa uyu ari kuuya kuzovhota, uyu munhu uyu akafa gore rakati kose ari pavoter roll. Did you see that? Were you given an opportunity to do that, and what can we do about the voter roll?
Chief, zvinoitwa neZanupf zvakaoma. I spent 3-4 days, I think, in Utare, trying to get hold of the voters, and they wouldn't release it. And do you know what they did when they finally released it? I think it was 2 or 3 days before election day. It was on a CD. Now you are holding a CD, and you have to find a way you can actually go and have that CD printed, so that you actually have the actual name, and then distribute them to you. You won't have time. So I think it is up to us to actually put pressure that the voters will be available to all candidates well before election day. Because most people went to election without even seeing a voter card.
Yeah. So, Zimbabweans, there you are. I saw an earlier comment there by VP Karenyi telling the people what they need to do. Those are in the diaspora, that you can adopt a constituency, you can adopt a branch, like our leader here is saying you can do that. And we are seeing here Audrey Phillips is saying, where do we send money for polling agents in Zimbabwe? We know that Wopo Chingono has started an initiative or a campaign for Zimbabweans to donate towards polling agents, and the MDC Alliance also has a platform for you to do that. And here in North America province, we have set up a 2023 campaign fund that we set up in 2019, and people in the province, people in North America are donating, and very soon we'll be opening it up to everyone, so that those who want to donate can do that, and obviously that money will be going towards the polling agents. So yes, this is something that we have to do as a party. Ramateu, this is something that we have to do as Zimbabweans. Let's make available platforms for people to donate, those who want to donate. Let's make available systems and ways in which people who want to help, whether they wear red like myself, whether they're MDC or not, let's give them a platform to help the situation in Zimbabwe. I know that there are people here, some who don't even have an MDC card, who don't even say Chinja, but they believe that the MDC, is a vehicle to change and freedom in Zimbabwe, and they want to help. But sometimes they don't have anywhere where they can go to help. You will be running in 2023. When you come here next time, you should be coming with a platform where people can help you, so that you go and and campaign and pay the polling agents, polling agents nenzara. But if you come here and talk and you don't give people a platform to help you, they will not help you.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true, Chief. We need to move towards that, and actually we are late doing that.
Yes, so
I'm happy that in North America you've started. I know my district here in the UK, they've already discussed about that and it's being implemented. But we really need to go out there into the ordinary people, talk to the ordinary people, and then let it be easy. Let's make it easy for them to donate some money.
Yes. Well, Zimbabweans, thank you so much for joining. We've been talking to Mr. Mateo here in the United Kingdom, a member of the MDC Alliance and a candidate for Buwera West in Zimbabwe. I know you'll be standing again in 2023. You was there in 2018 and he narrowly lost, or he was rigged, whichever the case might be. And in our discussion today, the main points that we discussed were the issues that are going on in the United Kingdom right now, the Zimbabweans that are being deported. And he said here that let's help those people. They've already come together and got some lawyers to help Zimbabweans that are being deported in the United Kingdom. Let's help those who can help in the United Kingdom. And Hanzi Kunema demonstrations at Chakupai, we are going to demonstrate against what is going on there. And we are also going to be demonstrating in solidarity with Eswatini, the people in Eswatini, as we announced here. So you'll be getting more information as we go. And finally, and most importantly, we talked about voter registration, vote rigging, that if you want to avoid vote rigging, another way of avoiding vote rigging is actually on registering en masse, making sure that millions of people are registered. Zanupf will not have a way of rigging. So let's make sure that we are registering to vote. Those are listening from Zimbabwe, from South Africa, neighboring countries, please go home and register. But if you can't travel,
and then come back to vote as well. It is very important, because we don't want to give Zanupf some ballot papers which they are going to use in the polling station. We want to make sure that every registered voter is voted in that polling station.
When you have gone to register, you must go back home to vote. And I was about to say that if you can't go home and register, please make sure that you are helping your families, you're helping your villages, you're helping your constituencies. You are adopting, like Mr. Mateo was saying here, you are adopting a branch and you are making them to go and register to vote. $100 will go a long way in just giving them, and I'm not register kuno voter. Inini vekumba kwangu ndakavaudza kuti kana musina kuregister ana tete handisi kutumirai chikafu mwedzi unoyu. Saka munhu wese enda unoregister kuno voter. We can do the same thing. I mean, it's not punishing anyone. They should just go and register to vote. Everyone has an obligation to register to vote and an obligation to vote. So kana vasiri kuenda unoregister kuvota, chimbomirai kutumira mari. But that's what we've been discussing today. Folks, thank you so much for joining. Let's make sure that our relatives, our friends, if they love their country, and if we love our country, we all go and register to vote. Until we meet again next time in other programs, it's Chief Sose, Mambo Sose, signing off here. Mr. Mateo, thank you so much for joining us. And Zimbabweans who joined from all four corners of the world, thank you so much. Let's go and watch Argentina get beaten by Brazil. I don't know who are on my side as we rally behind Brazil. And tomorrow we'll also be rallying behind the United Kingdom, the England. They have not won a major trophy since 1966. So, mangwana kukawinwa ku UK ukameno munenge mchita sei?
Akurarwe.
But we are behind the Kingdom, we are behind England. So, folks, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Johnny we